students, welcome back to the online class of science. This is your Naima Miss back with reproduction in plants, and this is mostly will be the last part of your lesson. That is the asexual reproduction. What we have learned about sexual reproduction in our previous class, that is the reproduction is of two types: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, right? So in which we have learned about the sexual reproduction, where we have learned in sexual reproduction we have what male part and female part, male part and female part, right? And this male part and female will combine, they will fuse and form what? They will form zygote, and this zygote will, and that is called as fertilization. This zygote will give the seed, this seed will again give the new plant, right? This is the process and fertilize is the sexual reproduction. Then coming to the part of asexual reproduction, we have asexual reproduction. Here no male and female part of the plant is used, no male and female part of plant is used for the production of new plant. Okay, so no male and female part is used for the production of new plant, right? That is asexual reproduction. Without the help of the male and female part, the production of new plant will take place. That is called as asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction, which is of again three types. Okay, so as I said, asexual reproduction. Okay, now this asexual reproduction is of three types, right? First is vegetative, parts are used here. Second is bud, third is spores. Okay, these are the three types of asexual reproduction. That is, vegetative part is used in the reproduction, bud is used in the reproduction, spores are used in the reproduction. So here these three will give new plant, right? This will give to directly, they will give for new plant. That is no fertilization, no pollination, nothing. Okay, they will directly give to new plants. Now how these processes are taking place, we will learn in detail. We will learn each of these asexual reproduction in detail, that is vegetative, bud and spores. So first we will go with vegetative part. So first one what I said, vegetative propagation, right? Vegetative part, right? Vegetative reproduction. So in this reproduction, you can say that when it is saying vegetative, you can understand from here only, vegetative means all the parts, vegetative parts of the plant. What are those? What are the parts of the plant? It's nothing but root, stem, leaf. So all these three will involve in the formation of new plant. Okay, root, stem, leaves. These three parts will take in the formation of new plant. So wherever you see the root, stem, leaves are taking part in the formation of new plant, then you can say that that is nothing but the vegetative propagation. Okay, for example, if you take potato, you see on potato, you see the small depressions. If you take a potato like this, you have a small depressions like this, you have black, right? What you do, you just simply take out these depressions. These are called as what? These are called as eye. Okay, you take out this eye and you just place it in water. Okay, so what you do, you cut the potato into pieces, that there is an eye in one part of the potato and in another there is no eye. Okay, both these we will keep in the water. Okay, both these we will place in the water. So this is with eye and this is without eye. Okay, with eye and without eye. Then plant these pieces with eyes in one cup and label with eye and without eye. Water both the cups daily and observe the plants. Sprouts in the cup where the pieces of eye are there will develop. That is, here wherever you have eye, from here you will see that the plant will start germinating. Okay, the plant will start germinating. So that means this eye of the potato will help in the production of new plants. So this is what? This is nothing but vegetative propagation. For example, one more example we have, that is bryophyllum. Bryophyllum. Bryophyllum is also one of the plant. Bryophyllum is one of the plant in which if you see the leaves of the plant, you will see that the small plants will start arising from here only, from the edges of the leaves. You can see that from the edges of the leaves the another new plants will start arising. So that means the leaf will here act as the reproducer. Okay, so the leaf will help in the reproduction of new plant. Okay, for example, we have money plant also at our home, right? Money plant, everyone have it. Money plant, you see that money plant, when you take this money plant, if the roots, suppose this is your money plant, okay, this is the money plant, you see that if the roots of this money plant are touching the ground, they will start producing the roots. Wherever the it touches the ground, or it comes in contact with water, they produces roots. So that root will again help in the reproduction of new plant. Similarly, see, when we use the rose cuttings, we have hibiscus, we have so many different jasmine plant. What we will do, we will take the stem, we will just do some cuttings like this, and what we will do, we will take this cutted stem and we will place in the pot, right? We will place in the pot. So after a few days we will see that the leaves will be coming out of that, leaves will be coming out of that plant, right? So that is nothing but vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Okay, so the next is budding. So before we go to budding, let us see this chart. Here we can see that the plants are mentioned and the part of the plant is also mentioned. If you see sweet potato, dahlia, carrot, turnip, radish, new plant grow from the modified roots. Okay, if you take the roots of this modified fruit, whatever we got, carrot, if you're taking this carrot and you're just placing it under the ground, what will happen, these new plant will start germinating from these roots, right? Then potato, new plants grow from eyes in the tuber, which is a modified stem. If you take onion, garlic, tuberose, lilies and gladioli, new plant grows from the bulb or combs, which are modified stems. If you take onion, you see there from the onion top of it, you see when you place the onion into the earth, mud, then you can see that from the above the green sprouts of onion, green leaves will start emerging out. So they start germinating. Bryophyllum, as I said, the buds will start coming out on the leaf itself, right? So new plant grows from the buds on the leaf. Sugarcane, if you see, the stem grows roots on the nodes. On the nodes only, where you find the lines like this, there only you can see that the a stem will start growing at the knots. Then if you take mint, strawberry, chrysanthemum, raspberry, stem creeps along the ground and strike roots at the knots. So these are the types of vegetative reproduction examples. The next topic we are going to learn is about budding. So when we go to a sweet shop, you see that jalebi, whenever the jalebi maker, he adds something to the jalebi. Okay, and when he's preparing the jalebi, he mixes it with some of the something he adds into that jalebi. So what is that? It is nothing but yeast. Okay, what is that? It is yeast. It is available in the market. When we go and ask the merchant to give us yeast, he will just give us a small box which is full of yeast. So that is nothing but he mixes this plant. It is a kind of plant which is white. Okay, so it is nothing but it is white in color. And what does he do? He just mixes this yeast into the flour which he made for the jalebi. Okay, yeast grow with the help of small bulbs like outgrowth, which increases in size and break off from the parent plant. So they are nothing but they are like this. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose this is a parent. What it will grow like this. It will grow like this. So after that they will get separated from the parent. Okay, they will get separated from the parents. So yeast are like this. They get grown like this. So slowly they will get separated. So these are nothing but these are called as buds. Okay, what are those? These are buds. When they go and fall on somewhere where they can germinate, again this bud will start growing into a new one. Okay, so these yeast grow with the help of small bulb-like outgrowths, which increases in size and breaks off from the parent plant to live independently. Okay, so these buds, they break from the parent plant and live independently. So this process is nothing but it is called as budding. Okay, it is called as budding. What it is called? It is called as budding. So let us demonstrate. Let us do some demonstration. What we are going to do, we are going to take some water in a tumbler. Okay, tumbler is nothing but a glass. Okay, we are taking some water in this glass. Okay, now we will mix a tablespoon of sugar and half spoon of yeast powder, which we get in the market, in this tumbler. Okay, we will add sugar and yeast. Okay, 1 spoon sugar and half spoon yeast. Okay, we'll add into this and we will cover this glass and leave it undisturbed for 1 day. Okay, we will leave it for 1 day. So on the next day, place a drop of solution of this on a slide. Okay, we will place this on a slide. We will take 1 drop from this and we will place it on the slide and cover it with the cover slip, and we will observe it under the microscope. Okay, we will observe it under the microscope. Now what do we observe? We have to see that. Okay, what do we observe? Now we can see that yeast cells which we have kept here in the tumbler, now they show like they look like water bubbles growing new one on them. Okay, that means they are growing new ones on them, like they appear like a water bubble. They are growing like new ones. So these are nothing but they are called as buds. What are they called as? They are called as buds. So the next type of asexual reproduction is nothing but spore formation. Okay, spore formation. So what we are going to do, what we will do, we will take a bread slice. Okay, we will take a bread slice. Now this is your bread slice, and we will cover it with a vessel and leave it undisturbed for 2 to 3 days. Okay, we will just leave it like that only. Now therefore, after you will find that the slice is covered with a gray colored fungus. See, or else when you see that your the bread, if it is outdated, like the date has been finished, okay, date has expired, you see that some spots will be forming here like this. You will see that some grayish green color spots will start producing here on the bread. Yes or no? Have you observed, children? If you did not observe, you see when the bread which is expired, Okay, you can see that there will be some layers forming like this. So let it stand for 3 or 4 days. We will keep like that only. So that is nothing but the fungus. Okay, what is that? It is nothing but the fungus. So we'll keep the bread like that only, and this fungus is called as what? This fungus is called as bread mold. Why bread mold? Because this is a mold which is produced on the bread. So that's why it is called as bread mold. Fine. So now what we will do, we will just let it stand for 3 or 4 days. Then what we will do, the whole growth appears like a black powder, like matter. Okay, if we will keep like that only, it will become into black color. Okay, it will become black color. Then what we will do, we will slowly transfer this powder with a thin stick into a fresh slice of moist bread. Okay, we will take the bread which is moist. Okay, this is a moist bread, and what we have done, we have taken a little of this and we have transferred onto this bread. Now we will observe it after every day. Daily we will observe it. What we'll observe, the black powdery portion of the bread mold contains several small spores. Several small spores. So what are those? See, bread, what is the figure of the how do you think they are when we observe these spores under microscope? How do they appear? They will appear like this. They will appear like this. These are nothing but these are the spores. These are nothing but these are spores. So many of them will grow like this. So many of them will grow like this on the bread. So many will start growing like this. These are the, these are the roots. Suppose this is the bread. You can see that so many of the spores will start forming on the bread. These are nothing but these are spores. So now as these spores are formed on the bread, they are called as bread molds. So this is nothing but the spore formation. So this is one of the method. These spores will again fall on this another bread or the moist area and again give to the production of new plants. So these are nothing but these are called as fungus. So what are fungus, that we will learn in detail in our further classes. In short, I'll tell you. Fungus are nothing but the non-green plants. Okay, fungi is nothing but the non-green plants. They are not green in color. Okay, not green in color, and they survive on some other plants or some other things which provide them food, but they cannot survive independently. Okay, one of the fungi, that is penicillium. This was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Okay, Alexander Fleming. He was the Scottish scientist who discovered that there are certain molds which are very helpful to human beings, and they help in curing some of the diseases, like they can kill the bacteria. Okay, so this penicillium mold can kill the bacteria, and this is used as a medicine, and it is called as penicillin. So I hope you'll remember, whenever we get like some kind of infection or bacterial infection or the wound and all kind of things, what do the doctors do? They give an antibiotic to us which is called as penicillin. Okay, that is nothing but which is coming out of the fungi penicillium. So with this we have learned about the 3 types of asexual reproduction. What was that? First one was vegetative reproduction, second was the budding, and third is spore formation. So with this I end up the lesson, and I hope it was clear, and if not, please try to go with all parts of the say reproduction in the plants, and you will be able to learn it very clearly. Thank you for listening. I hope it is very clear till now. Please, children, obey your parents. Try to understand what your parents say, and whatever they do is for your goodwill, and you have to obey them. You have to listen to them, because they are your parents. They think of you all always good. So I request you all, it's my kind and humble request to please obey your parents. They love you all, so kindly you do love them and try to respect them. Okay, with this I end up my class. Thank you. Thanks for watching the video.